today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
FightSaga.com presents War a Week Radio chats with boxing writer Joseph Heron.
Guys, a very good evening to all of you. I swear to God, guys, this is, I shouldn't be shocked at any of this, but honestly, I am quite shocked, right? This is the latest in the Team Wilder sour grapes excuse train, right? Like, honestly, guys, you can't make this shit up. These guys are clowns. It's hard to believe that this is supposed to be an elite level fighter. And this is the team that he has gathered around him. Guys, thank you once again for joining me in this special impromptu edition of War Week Radio. And once again, guys, I very seldom ever go live twice in one night, but this is way too good to pass up. Before we, let me give a shout out to my brother, AJ. Yes, I'm glad you like the entrance music, my friend. I love Cheers, and it says exactly what we want to say on this show. You know, we want to go where everyone knows your name, and we have nothing but friends who join us. Thank you so much, brother AJ. Always appreciate you joining in. Guys, I'm going to throw up real quick. I'm going to throw up the photo of the horsehair Paffens that, once again, and that's Tyson Fury's glove of choice, right? His horsehair Paffens. And yes, guys, in the description of the YouTube page, right? The link for Tay Jones' video, right? Tay Jones, I guess he's a Team Wilder member, but he's also a, I don't know, a half-ass fighter who's has a small professional record, right? And I don't know much about him because he's not on anyone's radar. He's not a serious contender or anything like that. But he's a hanger-on and a member of Team Wilder's team, right? He's a member of Team Wilder. And apparently, well, first of all, I'm going to throw up the picture, right, of the horsehair Paffen so you guys can take a look at these, right? Now, once again, these are Nevada State Athletic Commission approved gloves, not only for Nevada State Athletic Commission, but every single commission and board around the world. They're just like Cleto Reyes. They're just like MX Everlast, right? Here they are. Let me show these for 5 seconds so you guys can take a look at it. Do you see anything wrong with those? Do you see anything wrong with those guys? No? Because they're brand new. And once again, it's comical. So Tay Jones, I guess, and I think, I'm not sure, he's not identified, but it sounds like Don House, who's representatives of Team Wilder. And once again, they were asked, they were allowed in Team Wilder's glove approval room, right? They were allowed back there just to check out the gloves because of all the noise that they've been making up to this point. The Nevada State Athletic Commission, as a courtesy, allowed them back there. Oh, yeah. Here, check it out. Fuckerties, there is nothing wrong with them, right? And once again, before I move forward, I'm going to put them up there for another couple seconds, give you guys another good look, just so you can check them out again, okay? Here we go. And there it is. Funkerties has the beat here. Now, here's the comical things, and I'm going to go into the whole story and describe everything that the video shows, right? Funkerties has the beat, though. He says this. That's what horsehair gloves look like. Yes, they have a crinkle look with leather because of the thin layer of foam and horsehair blend. That's right. They're a softer, smaller glove. They're the puncher's gloves, right? That's why they call them the puncher's gloves. Once again, it's no different than the Cleto Reyes, who's been approved for what, 35 years now, Funkerties, right? MX Everlast just came out with their model, what, less than 10 years ago? Maybe 10 years ago, as well as the Power Lock Everlast, the ones that Deontay Wilder uses. But look, guys, all of this ignorance now sheds a lot of light on the Glovegate conspiracy theory. There's a reason why these morons, these halfwits, these numbskulls truly believe that Tyson Fury cheated, because they don't know the damn difference. They don't know the difference between a horsehair glove and a foam core glove. They have no idea what the difference is. Okay, so in this video, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they invite both Tay Jones as well as Don House to the back so they can inspect the gloves. And once again, this is just a courtesy because they had so much question and there's so much conspiracy about the gloves, right? So they allowed them back there. They take them out of the plastic and they spread them all out on the table, right? So Don House is touching me. He's like, oh, man, this is bullshit. Man, I can already see this right here, man. This is bullshit. And the guy, the officer from the Nevada State Athletic Commission is saying, well, what do you mean? What are you referring to? Man, these look like they already been used. No, you just saw me pull them out of the plastic, sir. This is the way that Paffen Sports delivered them to us. I'm opening these for the first time right in front of you so you can see that there's no tampering with them and there's no dilemma. No, man, this is bullshit, man. These gloves, they can't use these gloves. Look. And he goes, look, here's Deontay's. And he's got Deontay's, these silver and red gloves that he's going to use tomorrow, right? They're the Everlast Power Locks. And here's the reason why Deontay Wilder had such a hard time understanding that if you don't close your fist in a horsehair, they're going to flap, right? That's the way they're made. And the reason why he couldn't understand that, because he uses Everlast Power Locks. If you guys aren't familiar with Everlast Power Locks, they stay in a fist position. That's why they're called Power Locks. So even if you're relaxing your hand, it still stays in a fist position, right? And they're great gloves. They're very expensive. I have a pair. I also have a pair of MX Everlast. And I also have a pair of Horsehair Reyes. Now, once again, the Everlast Power Locks, even though they're considered puncher gloves also, they're thicker, bigger gloves, harder gloves, because it's got more padding. They're more protective gloves. But both types of gloves are both approved by every athletic commission as well as boxing board around the world. So once again, these guys come into this and they're already complaining. And he goes, well, I'm getting ready to wrap them up, right? I'm getting ready to wrap these back up. You guys have any questions? He goes, Tay Jones says this. He says, no, man, you got to leave this out, man, because D needs to come and see this. And he goes, what is that going to do? The gentleman from the Nevada State Athletic Commission says, well, why would you do that? Well, he needs to see these. And and you can hear the officer kind of start to get a little agitated saying, look, it's not going to make any difference. He can say whatever he wants, but we did this as a courtesy because these gloves have already been approved. This is the way they look. This is a standard approved horsehair 10-ounce glove. And these guys are saying, no, go get D, man. He needs to come and see this. And he's like, it won't do any good. Look, your only option, you have two choices. You can ask if you can use Tyson Fury's same gloves. You can use the same ones. I'm sure he'll allow it. Or two, you can back out of the fight. Take your pick. But there's not a damn thing that they can do about changing Tyson Fury's glove or forcing him to change the glove because they've been approved by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Guys, honestly, I'm kind of in shock here because these are guys who are supposed to be lifetime participants within the sport and the business of boxing. And they don't even know the difference between a horsehair and a foam core glove. That is absolutely shocking to me, guys. Before we move forward, before I get all of your thoughts on this, let's go to give a shout out to our comment section. Mini Meal, thank you for joining us for this psychological play. You know what, brother? You're giving them way too much credit. They're idiots. And once again, I was trying to figure out why they genuinely seem to believe this Glovegate nonsense. But that's the reason why. Because they don't know the difference between a horsehair and a foam core glove. It's a much softer, smaller glove. I mean, they're both 10 ounces. And it's an approved glove. They're both legal. Shout out to Mr. Pat. He says, what do you think Fury's real weight is because he was wearing clothing for the weigh-in? Look, we were talking about this. I was talking about this with a good friend of mine who's going to remain nameless because, yeah, he was kind of involved in this as well. Well, he's kind of anyway. He seems to think that, the clothes, right? The shoes, the tuxedo pants, the cutoff shirt, and the Undertaker hat that Tyson Fury was wearing, they're probably between 4 and 5 pounds, right? If you take those off, he's probably about the same weight that he was in this last fight. But my friend, who is going to remain nameless, he seems to think that maybe he had a weight in his pocket just to kind of mislead because admittedly, throughout fight week, he's looked a lot trimmer and more svelte than he did before the last fight. But anyway, that's Tyson Fury. Who knows? All I know is that he looks to be in great shape. Admittedly, so does Deontay Wilder. And I expect to see the best version of both men, sans excuses. But once again, here we go with Team Wilder already making excuses. Woo-woo! Here comes the excuse train. Chingo. Welcome, Mr. Dwayne Pipe. I hope Fury wears the same gloves for the fun of it. Yes, these are the same exact make and model of the gloves he used for the first 2 fights. His horsehair Paffen Sports glove of choice. And they've been approved for the Nevada State Athletic Commission all 3 times now. I love your moniker, brother. Welcome to the show, Mr. Lemon Pepper Chitlins. I love it. Excuses already. Yes, that's right. Dragon Leg, what's up, brother? Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, boy. And once again, Mr. Funkrites, thank you so much for hanging with us and being the voice of reason as well. Yes, the MX Everlast look just like this. It's a softer glove, guys. They're still 10 ounces, but it's a different kind of padding. And it's just a softer glove. Deal with it. Dwayne Pipe says Dossers. Oh, geez. My brother AJ. Yes, you hit the nail right on the head. Effing morons. Honestly, guys, I have to be honest with you. I'm in complete shock. Prem Chowdhury. Does anyone know where I can stream the fight? Come on there, brother. Look. If you're not going to purchase this fight, not even for the prelims, once again, we can't stop you from doing that. The only thing I can tell you is, and I don't ever condone doing illegal, and once again, why would you want to? The picture's often not as good. It's always buffering because their bandwidth can't handle all the traffic on a big fight night. Brother, just chip in with someone else and pay for it. But, guys, if you're looking for an illegal stream, go to Total Sportech. TotalSportech.com. They have all the streams for every fight before every fight night. Again, I didn't tell you that. Oh, and there they are, already looking for the streams. But I tell you what, that mini meal says, wow, Joseph, it's shocking, but has a fight ever been canceled a day or on fight day? The only one I can think of in recent memory, guys, that was almost canceled because of, once again, wearing a horsehair glove that was approved by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. You have to go back to Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Marcos Maidana 1, in which Marcos Maidana, and once again, his glove of preference or glove of choice was always the MX Everlast, which is the exact same type of glove, right? Horsehair, softer glove. And, to be honest with you, if I were a prize fighter, I wouldn't want to wear the horsehair gloves. They're not very protective. And once you start working the gloves in, working on hitting pads, right? Getting some work in for about maybe 3 or 4 rounds, the horsehair starts to separate around the knuckles, right? It's not a very protective glove. If I were a professional fighter and this was a big fight like this, I would want to protect my tools and use the best gloves in the business, which are Elvis Grant's. They are easily the best quality and the most protective. That's what I would use. But to each his own. Marcos Maidana, he loved to use the horsehair gloves. They're the puncher gloves. And look at his knockout ratio as a result. The guy had heavy hands. He loved to crack, and he wanted his opponents to feel it. So what happens when Floyd Mayweather takes a look at the gloves? He said the exact same thing. He put the glove on his right hand, punched it into his left, felt the horsehair and how light the glove was, and he said, oh, hell no, there ain't no padding in these. So he wanted Marcos Maidana to wear the same type of gloves that he was using, which was the Elvis Grant, right? Marcos Maidana and Robert Garcia said, no way. These are the approved gloves from the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So Floyd Mayweather was like, nope, we ain't fighting then. And so Marcos Maidana said, you know what? Fine, we're not going to fight then. You refund these guys. So you're the promoter. You refund all the fans their money. You give the big licensing fee back to Showtime. You give the big site fee back to the MGM Grand. You're the promoter. Hey, we have no problem going back home. Nice knowing you. And this was, guys, just 3 hours before the fight until they got resolution. I know, I covered that fight. And this is the way it was told to me by Robert Garcia. So Floyd, to go through the fight, he said, look, Golden Boy has an extra pair of Everlast Power Locks that Lucas Matisse used the weekend before. If you use these and go through with the fight, I'll pay you an additional $1.5 million. So they finally came up to a settlement, and that's how the fight continued to take place. But they didn't settle on resolution until just a couple of hours before showtime. So that's the closest I can remember any fight getting canceled because of that issue, that the opposing party didn't approve of the gloves. But that was, once again, at the mercy of Marcos Maidana. He didn't have to. The only reason why he changed gloves is because, one, he wanted to make that payday, and two, he got paid an extra $1.5 million. It was actually 1.5, according to Robert Garcia. At least that's what he told me. Yeah. And you know what? Maidana claims that Mayweather still hasn't paid him that money. And once again, this is according to Robert Garcia. He's a great guy, man. He's always funny. But let's go back to Funcrates. They are idiots. Yes, they are. Fury looked slim in that presser in his suit. Yes, he did. Which is why my buddy has a very strong theory that Fury, just to mess with Team Wilder, put a couple weights in his pants. That's why he was fully clothed. But anyway, that's just a theory. I don't buy into it. Yes, this glove conspiracy is getting ridiculous. Brother AJ says these guys are nothing but Wilder, you know what liquors. Yes, and they're worse than that, apparently. They're idiots. Like, guys, it makes total sense now. Why Deontay Wilder and his band of delusional morons truly believe Fury cheated, because apparently they've never used a pair of horsehairs. Look, unlike the power locks, when you wear a pair of horsehairs, you can open up the glove and extend your entire hand, make it flat. When you're wearing the power locks, that's impossible. The gloves always stay in the lock-fisted position, hence the name, Everlast Power Lock. So you can keep your hand relaxed and it'll always be in the fist position. They're great gloves. But horsehairs, you can open them up. This is, and once again, Deontay Wilder had never put those on. So he had no idea that you could open up your hand in a horsehair glove. This is why my eyes do not deceive me. Well, they don't deceive you, but you're an idiot. This is the way they are. When you don't close your fist in a horsehair glove, they flap. Because they're a lighter pair of gloves. It's shocking, guys. But this is the reality now. It's understandable now why they truly believe that Tyson Fury cheated and doctored the gloves. Because they don't know the difference. They're idiots. Now, this is shocking. These guys are professionals. This is at the elite level. And these guys don't know the difference between a horsehair and a foam core glove. This is the former WBC heavyweight champion. This is crazy. Look, guys, I'm going to show them once again. Here's the picture once again in case you're joining me late. And it's funny, you see the wrinkles on the photo? See the wrinkles on the leather? Tay Jones puts his hand all over him and he goes, hey, man, why do these gloves look used? And the gentleman from the Nevada State Athletic Commission is just shaking his head. He's going, well, this is the way they're made. It's a lighter glove. It's horsehair. This is the way they're made. We just took them out of the wrapper, and you saw us do that. No, man, this is no good, man. We have to get D over here so he can see this. And he's like, well, do what you want, but they're approved, and he's still going to use them. Shocking, guys. Shocking. Oh, Dwayne Pipe. Did you see Fury talking to The Undertaker? Yes, Mark Callis. I love it. Mean Mark Callis. His real name is Mark Calloway, right? Yeah, did you see Fury talking to The Undertaker? I hope he says the catchphrase. Rest in peace. Yes! Dude, I would love it. Well, one thing that Fury's hoping doesn't happen is that he has to rise up from the canvas again like The Undertaker. But yeah, it was a nice touch. The Undertaker hat that he was wearing for the weigh-in. Lemon Pepper Chitlins says maybe Breland knew this. That's why they fired him. Well, look, and once again, Mark Breland, and I'm surprised he was as kind as he was. I'm surprised he hasn't sued them for slander. Because honestly, everything that they've said and everything they've done to tarnish this man's reputation deserves a huge multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Because think about this. What they've said about him and everything this is felony. This is criminal activity that they're accusing him of. That's a felony. And they're saying this consistently. They've been saying this consistently for the past year. And if it affects his ability to get work as a trainer, as a consultant, as anything within the business, yeah, he's got grounds for slanderous lawsuit. And honestly, he should have done that already. But yes, Mark Breland actually spilled the beans and characterized Wilder as an uncoachable fighter, that he doesn't listen. And he's happy being mired in his ignorance. And there you have it. Brother AJ says, Wilder may literally go down as the dumbest boxer in history. And boy, that would be some accomplishment, wouldn't it? Because there have been some doozies over the years. But you know what? Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. He makes Leon Spinks look like a Rhodes Scholar. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Mini meal. This is WWF type of stuff. At elite level, it's insane. That's the operative word. It's insane, brother. And the worst part about it is these bozos genuinely believe this. They genuinely believe it. Like they're already complaining about it. Good Lord, man. These guys are idiots. And once again, it's one thing to be ignorant and admit that you're ignorant. Well, I didn't know. Hey, no fault in that. How else are you going to know unless someone tells you or you learn it through experience, right? But to be ignorant and insist that you're knowledgeable of something, that is genuine stupidity. Like even when more experienced people are trying to tell you, no, look, this is protocol. This is the difference. And then to sit there and argue with the man. The officer from the Nevada State Athletic Commission is trying to reason with him. And you've got to watch the video, guys. Once again, I put the link right there in the description, right? And both members, Don House and Tay Jones, are sitting there trying to argue with the man. Oh no, man, we got to get D to see this. And the gentleman from the State Athletic Commission is going, I don't know what good that's going to do. There's nothing you can do to keep him from wearing these. I mean, you could always back out of the fight. But hey, are you willing to do that for $20 million? Dude, this is hilarious. I wonder what Bob Bennett's going to say. This is shocking, guys. Yeah, I'm going to be writing everything that we discussed tonight. I'm going to be writing an article for him. It's going to be out in the morning because I need everyone to see how absurd and how moronic Wilder's band of idiots are. And this is what he's surrounded himself with. A bunch of delusional, ignorant yes men who do nothing but blow smoke up his ass. That's his team. Wow. What an elite athlete. Snoop C says, Joseph Aaron has been there and done that. You know, unfortunately, I have been in this brutal ass-beating business for 20 years. In terms of reporting boxing news for a long time, I've also done publicist work for several name fighters that will go nameless. Unfortunately, I don't want to embarrass them or anything. But two of them have actually been world champions. I've done work for most promoters in this industry also, doing their public relations as well. I've also been a ring announcer. I still do ring announcing. I've also been a color commentator for several different companies, and I'm still doing color commentary for Iconic pay-per-view at this time. He's been at some huge boxing events and definitely knows a thing or two with commissions. Well, like I stated, I just covered Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana 1. Yeah. So thank you, though, Snoop. I appreciate the vote of confidence, my friend. And thank you for noticing the difference. And it really means a lot to me, Snoop. Thank you, brother. Thank you for noticing the difference between my channel, the War Week Radio and FightSaga.com channel, compared to most of the other fan sites that are on YouTube. And there's nothing wrong with those if that's what you prefer. But keep in mind, those are all run and driven by fans, right? Who have never made a dime or spent any time in this often unfair and unjust business. So thank you for noticing the difference, Snoop. I really appreciate it, my friend. AJ says this, Breland didn't deserve any of that. Hell no. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in this business. And he came up the hard way. A decorated amateur. Spent time training with some of the sharpest minds in the amateur and the pro system. He learned from the best. And he's a man of integrity. Never any shortcuts. He's a credit to the sport. Always has been. As a fighter and as a coach. Minnie Meal says Team Wilder, the Dumb and Dumber Bum Squad. You know what, brother? Look, I already knew that Deontay, because once again, when doing PR work for Golden Boy, I already knew because I used to talk to Deontay a lot when he first turned pro. And I used to do press releases, and I used to write articles for him all the time. And he was on my old radio show, The Pugilist Corner, all the time, right? So I know firsthand that, well, he's mentally challenged, right? He's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. But this is like, I never knew how crazy he was. This is downright idiotic and downright insane. I guess comedian Ron White is absolutely correct when he says you can't fix stupid now, isn't he? Brother AJ says Tyson Fury needs to win this fight now. You know what, brother? Once again, most of you, now I defy all of you. Now, I take great pride in my objectivity when I am analyzing a matchup and I'm calling a fight. And I defy any of you to be able to tell how I truly feel about any fighter or any matchup. I defy any of you to be able to identify who I'm actually rooting for if I am. I take great pride in my objectivity, but I can tell you this in all honesty. I'm finding it very, very difficult. I'm finding it very, very difficult to find a scenario in which the sport is better off with a Deontay Wilder victory. See, because the way I am, and most journalists are, guys, the way most journalists are and people in this business, they don't have a dog in the hunt, and they really don't care who wins. But as long as it's good for the sport of boxing. Like, admittedly, it's very good for the health of the sport. If the big attractions, the big ticket sellers remain in their winning ways, it's just better for the economics. It's just better for the health of the sport. If you're a mainstream and casual commodity and you have that crossover appeal, then yes, it's always better if you stay in your winning ways. Unfortunately, you look at all of the terrible trends that Deontay Wilder has kind of brought to this sport. Once again, all of the terrible, slanderous accusations. That's not good for the sport of boxing, guys. Consistently inciting racism. That's not good for the sport, guys. That's the last thing that the health of the sport needs, right? And unfortunately, Deontay Wilder has chosen to champion both of those ignorant ideals. So I'm sorry, on a personal level, I have to agree with you, AJ. I honestly hope Tyson Fury wins this fight. And I'm saying that not for selfish reasons, but for the health of the sport. Deontay Wilder, I'm afraid, has become a cancer to the sport of boxing, guys. He's a cancer. Anyone who incites racism, right? Anyone who incites this kind of ignorance and brings up these conspiracy theories that are terrible for the sport, making these baseless criminal accusations, that's not good for the health of the sport. That's not good, guys. Let's see this. Quentin Cleese says, the Fury gloves did not look right. I'm not going to lie. Let's take one more look, guys, okay? That's how horsehair gloves look, Quentin. Once again, they were torn right out of the plastic by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. You can click on the video and look at Tay Jones' documentation. Oh, his proof, right? And they rip them right out of the plastic. It's a softer glove. It's made of horsehair, right? So anyway, I advise anyone who is in question, go try on a pair of horsehair for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go put on a pair of foam core gloves and then put on a pair of MX Everlast or Cleto Reyes or horsehair Paffens. And you be the judge. Feel the difference. It's an obvious difference. One is more protective than the other. But they're both legal and both approved by every athletic commission as well as boxing board, right? Brother AJ says, Joseph, when you talked to Deontay, did you lose any brain cells? Brother, this way. Thank you. I do not have a lot of knowledge about gloves. You know what? That's all right, brother. And once again, if you don't know, just ask and someone will help you in that area. And there's nothing wrong. If you don't know, then you don't know. The only way to find out is to either experience it for yourself or ask someone who does have that experience. So you know what? Credit to you, brother, for asking. That's the only way you learn. Thank you for being on this show, man. I appreciate it, brother. So I'm sorry, where was I? Oh, yeah. I'll say this, brother. He needs to quit smoking weed because he's turned into this delusional, paranoid thing. And that's all I'm going to say about anything personal about Deontay Wilder, right? Minnie Mills says, I think too many heavy blows to the head has done in Wilder, brother. He was done in long before that. I think God already beat him to it, right? That's just my personal theory. You know, it's like you can try to tear him down, but I think the Lord already beat everyone to it. Minnie Mills says, Wilder is toxic to the boxing community, racist narratives, etc. Lame excuses. Boy, it's a lot worse than just lame excuses. Those are criminal accusations. Criminal. Guys, think about how long Panama Lewis and Luis Resto went to jail, right? They served time. Those are criminal offenses. Those are felonies. If we were in the 90s, Wilder would never have gotten away with all the accusations and excuses he's made. Boy, you're absolutely right. Jeez, crime in Italy. You know what? If we were in the 90s, and if he were surrounded by great boxing men like the Duvas, like guys like Emmanuel Stewart, like Ronnie Shields, they would never let him get away with that. They would say, shut up, dude. What are you, an idiot? And they'd correct him. Boy, Emmanuel Stewart, let me tell you, working for Emmanuel Stewart, that guy would never put up with any of this nonsense. I was lucky enough to be able to work with him throughout the final years of his life. And I did PR work for all of his fighters, as well as doing blow-by-blow commentary for all of his podcast or as webcasts, his web-streamed events, right? And Emmanuel would have never allowed any of his fighters to espouse this kind of rubbish. He would have told them to shut the hell up. You're making them look bad. That's what he would have said. He would have never allowed this kind of nonsense. And I can tell you firsthand, he would have never trained a guy like Deontay Wilder. Ever. Funkertees also says this, Mr. Quentin Klaus. Thank you for joining us once again. Says, Google and look at horsehair gloves. Check out the Everlast MX professional gloves off of the Everlast website. Yes. Make sure you look at the professional ones. You'll see that they look exactly the same with kind of, you see the creases and the wrinkles in the soft leather. You're absolutely right, Funkertees. Good call, brother. I can only imagine what Coach James Gogi would say about this glove debacle the night before the fight. Well, I can tell you this. Please tune in, Snoop C, to tomorrow immediately following the fight. Because James Gogi, boy, he's going to have a field day with this one. We're going to be both giving you our opinion immediately following the fight live. So we hope to see you there, Snoop. Thank you for always being a part of the show. And once again, thank you for the kind words earlier, my friend. Well, guys, it's getting late. And I think it's at it's 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. I think we're going to have to call it a night because my voice is starting to go. Just 2 more comments and we'll call it a night, right? Dwayne Pipe says, if you had to choose one out of all the excuses Wilder made, which one would you find the most believable? The one I would, okay, believe it or not, guys, believe it or not, this one is the most believable. The one that is most believable is that his outfit drained him on the way to the ring. Honestly, the outfit being too heavy is the one that's most believable, if you can believe that. Because let's think about it. He doctored the gloves. He wore them on the end of his hand. He had enough room with his big mitt, right? He had enough room in that small 10-ounce glove to fit an egg weight in there. Let's see. The water was spiked and he was drugged, even though his test came out negative, right? His drug test post-fight. Even though it came out negative, he still insists that he was drugged, right? Let's see, what else was there? Okay, there was the 45-pound outfit, right? What else? Kenny Bayless was drunk that night? No. I mean, look, I know for a fact Kenny Bayless, he loves his Hennessy, but never while he's working, right? I know that for a fact. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah, Mark Breland was influenced by one of Javen, Sugar Hill Stewart's fighters, Anthony Durrell, in telling him to throw the towel. Okay, that's just silly. Guys, you have to say it. In my opinion, the excuse that's most believable is the theory that the 45-pound costume drained him of some energy. Honestly, that's the one that's the most believable. That's how ridiculous all of this is, guys. That's how ridiculous all of this is. Thank you for your comment, by the way, Dwayne Pipe. Wilder doesn't deserve to be trained by a legend like Manny Stewart. No. And he definitely doesn't have or deserve to be trained by anyone like Ronnie Shields, anyone like Jesse Reed, anyone like Joe Goosen, anyone like Robert Garcia, anyone like Freddie Roach. There are so many great trainers in this sport, guys. James Gogie, and he doesn't deserve to even rub elbows with or even hear them speak. He doesn't deserve any of that. I'm truly convinced now that this guy is an idiot and a cancer to the health of the sport. He is bad for boxing, guys. And I've never, in all my years being in the sport, I have never said that about any other fighter. But I can tell you now with great certainty, this guy is bad for boxing. He's a racist, small-minded, delusional weirdo who suffers from permanent psychosis because of not only shots to the head, but chronic weed smoking. That's what I know. Dwayne Pipe, yes. Boy, can't wait for that lighter outfit tomorrow. Yeah, Wilder, guys, I'm sorry. I'm afraid he's become an embarrassment to the sport of boxing. And then he wonders why the American populace don't want to get behind him. He complains that Fury has more fans at the arena than he does when they fight. Geez, I wonder why. But guys, that's going to just about do it. Let me just show you, and once again, guys, I advise all of you to click the link in the description of the video, right? Check it out for yourself and prepare to be amazed. I had no idea how foolish any of those people truly were. And honestly, I'm shocked. Thank you for subscribing, Dwayne Pipe. God bless you, brother. I really appreciate it. And to anyone who hasn't subscribed, please do that. And please, before you leave, please make sure you click the like button. And if you're feeling charitable, please donate to War Week Radio with the Cash App, $War a Week. Guys, God bless all of you. And we'll reconvene here tomorrow, immediately following the fight, regardless of outcome. God bless all of you guys. You have a wonderful evening. Guys, thank you for listening to War Week Radio. I'm Joseph Heron. You guys have an excellent evening, everybody.
FightSaga.com presents War a Week Radio chats with boxing